Hello, this is Bruno Pelletier-Backer, and in today's vlog I'm going to talk about chords, specifically about a simple 2-5-1 chord progression, which we eventually will extend into a full turnaround. Okay, so I am in the key of A flat major. Don't ask me why, that's just the key I chose today. So A flat major, and I am going to do my 2-5-1. So the chords I chose, the type of voicings I chose for this explanation, those chords are known as drop 3 voicings, right? So if you don't know what those are, don't worry about it. You don't really need to know that. You don't need to know why they're called drop 3s. If you are very curious, or maybe in some other video I can discuss that, but you know, there's plenty of resources out there, and I don't want to make this video too long. So in the key of A flat, 2-5-1 simply means that I'm going to first start with the chord that is built on the 2nd degree of my key. So A flat, in fact, how about we run all the degrees of the A flat major scale. So it's A flat, first the notes, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, and G. Okay, those are the notes of the A flat major scale. If I choose to build a chord on each one of those notes, I would end up with, so for the B flat, it would be a B flat minor 7th chord. That's my 2 chord. The 5th degree, again, it's A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat. So the 5th degree is E flat, and the 5th chord, that's what we call it, it's going to be a dominant 7th chord. So in this case, E flat 7. And I'm going to resolve into the 1 chord, which is A flat, the chord that is built on the tonic of the key. And that chord is going to be a major 7th chord. All right, so you probably are familiar with all of these voicings. This is my B flat minor 7. This is going to be my E flat dominant chord. And my A flat major 7th is going to be here. So most of those chords are in root position. The 2 chord was in root position, and so was the A flat major 7th chord. The E flat, you might know it as this grip here, but I have 2 roots. You know, here I could have the root on the 5th string, right? But I also have a root here on the 2nd string. So what we're doing instead of doubling the root and skipping one of the notes, we are going to use the 5th in the bass. So the 5th will be on the 6th string. Okay, so again, it's this for the B flat minor, this for the E flat dominant chord, and this for the A flat major 7th chord. What is interesting here is that there is a note on the big string all the time, right? And sometimes it's the root, and then in the case of the dominant chord, is going to be the 5th. Now, why am I particularly choosing this E flat also? Well, that is the nearest inversion. You know, that's the nearest voicing that I have for this type of chord in this area, and that's what I'm going to do. What I would not want to do, for instance, would be this: play my B flat minor 7th here in root position, play an E flat dominant here. That would be the same type of voicing, right, with the root on the 6th string, and then resolve back here. It's too much movement here. That's not good for voice leading, right? So we're going here, 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 here. That's the 2-5-1. You can strum, you can play with your fingers, you can arpeggiate maybe at first to make sure that you are hearing all of the voices. Okay. One note about the grips: try to keep your fingers pretty close to the strings when you go from one chord to the other, and try to see if you happen to have any fingers that would stay on a certain string. For instance, when I go from the E flat dominant, my fourth finger on the third string can simply glide, you know, a little bit on that string, and then become the C note in my A flat chord. Okay, so 2, 5, 1. It's a good idea also to sing the roots. What I'm going to add now is the sixth chord. So A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F. And the chord that is built on the sixth degree is going to be F minor 7. Same thing, since I am in this area, I'm going to find the nearest possible F minor 7, and it's going to be this one. This one is going to have the A flat in the bass, which is the third. So not a root position chord, right? What you might also notice is this particular chord, this particular grip, you might know it as a sixth chord. You know, we could say that this chord is also an A flat major 6. You know, it would have A flat root, this would be C the third, E flat the fifth, and then my sixth would be here on the fourth string, right? So in other words, this chord is two things. It's an inversion of an F minor 7, F, A flat, C, E flat, or it is a root position A flat 6th chord. What we're looking at here really is the sort of destination of your turnaround. We can say one measure of B flat minor 7, one measure of E flat dominant, one measure of A flat major 7, and then finish with the last measure of A flat 6. I would certainly encourage you, hope I didn't scare you by lounging forward, I'm getting the metronome here. I would certainly encourage you to practice this kind of thing with a metronome. I'll put the clicks on 2 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just do something like that. Okay, so that's the first thing that you should be doing. So practice every move between each chord. A flat major 7 to A flat 6, we have to reposition pretty much all the fingers. I mean, the pinky could kind of stay in place here, but at least I personally have to rearrange it a little bit. I mean, I'm staying in touch really with the string, more or less, not always really, I suppose. But in any case, I'm staying very, very close to the strings, right? One last thing about this 2-5-1 here. I started on the 2 chord, but I could have started on the 1 chord. I could have gone just basically start on A flat major 7, going to A flat 6, to B flat minor 7, to E flat 7, and then you can loop it, and that's what the turnaround is. I mean, it just turns around. You know, it's a loop. The word turnaround, by the way, may have several meanings. Usually a turnaround is found at the end of a section or at the very end of a song, and it sends you back to the top of the form. So there's usually this sort of extra activity with the chords at the end of a section, usually over 1 measure or 2 measures, and the purpose is to send you back to the very top. So your turnaround could start on the 1 chord, or you can think of it as just as a 2-5-1. The order of the chords is really the same, whether you start on 2, then go to 5, then go to 1, then go to 6, or start with 1, 6, and then continue to 5. You know, you just catch the cycle in a different place, but it really is the same chord progression. Okay, so that's going to be our first look at this turnaround. Next time we will be looking at inversions of the same thing. Okay, so make sure you practice this first round of things, starting with this B flat -7, and then we'll look at the various inversions. Eventually we'll look at substitutions and all that. Okay, so we have quite a program ahead of ourselves. So good luck with that. Let me know if you have any questions, problems, concerns, if you agree, disagree with anything I say. This is the purpose of this little vlog thing. So don't hesitate to contact. Okay, so see you for now. Bye.